The old township of York stands like a time capsule in the Avon Valley, a fertile district on the edge of the West Australian desert. The town flourished in the 1880s as a staging post between Perth and the gold diggings. But in 1894, a railway to the goldfields bypassed York, and the town was neglected for more than half a century. The old York Hospital was built in 1896 to serve the farming district, and is on the site of a convict depot opposite the town cemetery. The hospital was used mainly by poorer residents. Wealthier people were nursed in their own home, where surgery was carried out on the kitchen table or in the patient's room. The building is now owned by the National Trust, which leases it to the state government as a youth hostel. In January 1980, a group of 5 adults and 28 children from a little athletics club 144 kilometres away travelled to York Hospital for a camping holiday. But their holiday was to become a nightmare.
We were told not to go upstairs at all.
Did you go upstairs at any stage?
Yes, we went up the first night. The reason we went up the first night, because it was such a very, very hot time, and the children were very hot. And I suggested, if we had a look upstairs, being up high, there may be more breeze coming through for the children to sleep up there. And of course, Paul and Mrs. Kramer went upstairs, but when they came downstairs, they were very pale, and they said there's something wrong with the place up there.
We went up there with torches, and we got midway along the dormitory, and our torches went out. We had this howling wind coming down from the chimney, and with 47 degrees outside, there was no way that there could have been any wind.
We walked past the fireplace in the middle of the room, and both our torches went out. Now, at first I thought it was just my torch blowing, so we walked back 3 or 4 times, and again they went on and off, you know, corresponding as to when we're in front of the fireplace, and there again when we sort of came past the fireplace. But again, every time we walked in front of the fireplace for about 2 or 3 metres, they actually went off and then came back on again.
Things happen, you know your torch has gone out, and you know the other person's torch has gone out. We sort of looked at the torches to see if there's anything wrong with them. As I say, they came back on their own accord.
There was a foul smell which came from a small attic which was up the top. To me, it smelled as something dead, sort of like a dead animal or something. A very, very foul stench.
They said, well, you couldn't put the children up there because there's something strange up there. And then we're sitting there for a while, and this terrible moaning noise started. Well, at first you'd say it was the wind, but then when you look and you say, well, there wasn't any wind. It was so hot and still at York. So it wasn't wind, but then it got louder, and was a definite sound of a woman crying, in pain, moaning.
It was a definite noise, which wasn't the rustle of the trees, it wasn't any wind, and the only way you could explain it was as a moaning.
It was frightening. It was very frightening, because you'd swear there was someone up there in terrible pain, but I mean, because there wasn't anyone there.
Why did you not leave then?
Well, we're in a position, to be honest with you. As I said, we hired a bus, and Maureen's husband was kind enough to take the day off and drive us there, and he was to pick us up in a week's time, and that's all we could do. We had no transport there. We didn't have a car. Little did we know these kind of things were happening. I mean, you wouldn't have gone in the first place, would you?
But at this early stage, did you think the building was haunted, or did you think something else?
Mrs. Kramer had thought the place was haunted. And of course, I said, don't be stupid. You're imagining. The imagination's running a little bit wild here. And of course Paul said to me, you know, Mum, there's something definitely wrong here. Well, the first thing that happened that morning, Maureen and I got up to get the children's breakfast. We went into the kitchen. We got the milk. And I had this crockery jug, which I put on the bench. And I walked across to Maureen. And the next thing, out of the corner of my eye, I could see this jug lift and come across, just float straight across the room at it.
I just stood there watching it. I couldn't believe my eyes. It moved and it came to the end, and instead of toppling off like things normally do, it just floated.
It was very hard to believe. And of course, I thought then, well, it didn't just fall on the floor, it definitely floated. And of course, Maureen and I stood there shocked. We were shocked. Then the next thing, the stave would turn on and off. While you were using it, it had just turned itself on and off. It was a very queer thing that kept happening in that kitchen.
Did anything else around the place move?
Yeah, and the doorknobs. You'd be standing outside and they'd be spinning. Just absolutely spinning. And there was nobody else on the other side or anything because we checked all that. But they were just spinning, the doorknobs spin.